So build videos in 2020. Let's take a quick recap, seeing as this is video number 5 in the series. Basically, Payday 2 is being updated again. I'm making up-to-date builds for all 21 perk decks. Holy shit. This is video number 5. Rogue, Grinder, Anarchist, and Hacker were 1, 2, 3, and 4, all of which are linked in the description. These are all death sentence 1 down difficulty builds. Playing less than that and you're a pussy. Each build will have some crossovers, or will have Inspire and 9 lives aced. Painkiller's aced is not better than Quick's fixed aced. Facts. Each build will be using max infamy with a video on screen and linked in the description. Going to try and use some different weapons to accentuate the builds and make them fun. Not every build will have the IAHMA shotgun, even though I would like them to. All builds will have been tested for at least 2 minutes in order to validate my claims. I will give some playstyle ideas and some map suggestions where the build may find you more success. Click like if you like this video and subscribe if you are new. Today we will be looking at the Sociopath perk deck, sort of limited due to the fact that it's part of a DLC character pack which is only available when purchasing Hotline Miami 2 Digital Special Edition on Steam. The type of build this perk deck encourages is melee. Okay, that may get old. Rewarding players for getting melee hits. Okay. Already did. There is of course parts of the skill trees that boost melee, so of course this is the path of creating the best melee build ever.
The best melee build ever.
Well, it's alright, I guess. Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, I totally stole that part from my last Sociopath best melee build ever video. In fact, I'm gonna use that one as a basis for this one, and we'll quickly run down the 2-year-old comments section for suggestions on that video to see what everyone thought and what they would, if anything, change. What I remember from that video was that melee was a lot of fun and made the game so different. Yes, the other perk decks change up playstyle, but essentially they change from do I run everywhere and hope my dodge works to I have a bit more armor and can tank a little more, or even let me hide and get some damage for my health to come back. Well, this one is don't run out in the middle of craziness but get all up in everyone's face and chop them down. The issue we also face with the melee build is that it can become too novelty. If it's purely focused on melee, then it's literally not going to work and it needs some other utility. There will also be a lot of talk about which melee to use. I'm going to be honest, I'm no stat snob, so you can throw out all your decimal places on recharge time and reset time and all that. Let's not use calculators to tell us how we feel. Use our hearts, people.
I don't want anyone to pat on my back. I don't want to please anyone besides myself. I follow myself, and therefore, I follow my heart. It will tell you where to go and what to do.
With that being said, I always refer to the Ultimate Payday Guide, the long guide, linked in the description. It is one hell of a document, so feel free to take a read and get your mind blown by the detail of it. Within that guide, it does list the Katana and Ice Pick as the most notable of the melees, and seeing as I used the Katana in my last melee video, I will use it again. Just kidding. I'll use the Ice Pick. It does state that the Katana is best for killing sprees, and the Ice Pick is best for 1 or 2 kills at a time, but timings are pretty negligible, so we'll go on feelings, people. Let me know in the comments below what your favorite melee is. Okay, so on to the perk deck itself. We may get a little technical here, so hold on to your hats, boys and girls. First off, when being surrounded by enemies, you will receive less damage, up to 12%, and that's when they're within 18 meters of you. With this, there is a melee damage stack thingy. Best said like this: after your first melee hit, not kill, the next one will deal 10 times more damage than the last. This can stack up to 11 times, but each hit has to be within 1 second of the one prior, so move fast, dudes. Missing a melee hit resets the whole thing. Then there's armor regen and health regen for killing, and then there's some general armor increases too. One thing to note here is that there's 2 parts of this deck that reward armor recovery for getting kills, and they don't have to be melee kills. The tensions portion of the deck will grant you 30 armor for killing an enemy, and the overdose portion will grant you a further 30 armor if that kill is within 18 meters of you. This also stacks with the bullseye skill, which grants 25 armor when it's aced for a headshot. The perk deck armor regen can be no more than once every second, and bullseye is every 2 seconds, so technically every other second you can get 60 armor back with kills, and then throw on bullseye ace, you can be regenning 85 armor every 2 to 3 seconds. Not too shabby, not too shabby at all. The last and final portion of this deck is the ability to spread panic amongst your enemies, which has a 75% chance. You know, it's nice to see these bitches cower in fear from time to time. Pussies. Okay, nerd portion over, now let's talk skills and some other shit. I took a look over my last melee build and did make some changes, most of which came from the lovely people in the comments section, so thank you for that. I'm going to go with a full ICTV armor on this build. Sadly, I tried low to no armor and it's a complete shit show. Even high armor really isn't enough for death sentence, and no armor is, well, to put it briefly, wank. For melee, totally open, but I'd go for one that couples high damage with fast hit times. I just followed the long guide recommended. Ice pick, plays decent, not as cool as a katana though. Concussions for throwable and doctor bag for deployable. Weapons.
Guess who's back? Back again.
IAHMA's
Tell a friend.
the IAHMA baby. With a weak perk deck, we need a solid weapon that can give us the kills for armor regen and melee damage stacks. More on that later. Secondary is the Arbiter for a change. I like fire on this, as laying down fire in a room triggers hits on enemies and regens armor back through the perk deck using the fire's damage over time system. Pretty smart when you think about it. I have my moments. Both of those are modded like this. Skills in the Mastermind tree, the usual suspects, all the way to Inspire Ace for the ability to yell at your down teammates and awake them from their slumber, and a cheeky point on Stable Shot to get 8 stability for our weapons. In Enforcer, we're bulking up our shotgun. Underdog Aced first off. Now, although Underdog Basic is useless for melee, Aced it's good for being up close and personal, compounding the increase in damage reduction. The basic version, of course, helps our shotguns anyway. Then it's Shotgun CQB for reload speed, Shotgun Impact for more damage, and Close By for hip fire and mag size. Finally, Overkill Basic for the 75% damage boost for our shotgun. Not sure of all the multipliers and math here, but it stacks pretty nicely and manages, in conjunction with the grenade launch kills and fire, to get some good armor regen pretty fast. Next, we spend some heavy points. Resilience Ace for flashbang and armor recovery help, Shotgun or Ace to be able to knock back shields with our melee bursts, and Bullseye Ace to compound our great armor recovery with headshots. Now, like I said, getting up to 85 armor back every 3 seconds, 60 for kills and 25 for headshots. Last in here is Iron Man Ace, used to access the ICTV and that 30% more armor. In Technician, we go balls out, picking up Steady Grip for 8 weapon accuracy and Fire Control for 12 accuracy when firing from the hip. The IAHMA already has a high stability stat but pretty low accuracy, so this helps. Remember, accuracy is bullet spread, stability is recoil. In Ghost, we take the ICTV mandatories Duck and Cover for stamina and Parkour for speed. Miss out on these and truly feel what it's like to be a turtle. Fugitive, we get the extra down before custody in 9 lives Ace. I toyed with Swan Song on this build. I had it in my last melee build, but it really is just an alternative. You could remove Stable Shot and Fire Control to get Swan Song Basic, but I prefer the weapon stat boost here. Finally, we hit, get it, hit, melee. Ugh. The Brawler portion. Only taking Martial Arts Basic here, not Ace. Now, I got this advice from the comments in my last video. Knocking down enemies isn't really the point in this build, is to kill them. We also get a 3 out of 4 chance of disabling them due to the panic from the deck too, so I like the 3 extra points gained from not taking this skill. Then it's Pumping Iron Ace, a no-brainer for melee builds. We do 100% more damage to all enemies. Then Bloodthirst Basic. Here you can build up damage stacks for your melee by getting weapon kills, non-melee kills that is. Each kill you get banks 100% damage increase to your next melee hit. Get 2 kills, it goes to 200, 3 is 300, etc., all the way up to 16 kills. It caps at 16 kills and resets after you melee an enemy. The final skill is Berserker Ace. Now, of course, the aim of the game is to not keep your health below 50% for any length of time, but we all know that this can happen and will happen at times on this difficulty. Whatever portion of the Berserker boost you get from being below 50% health, it sure will help with your weapon and melee kills. So playstyle. If you're not used to melee builds, you could find this build trash from the outset, or any melee build to be fair, as it's a different game altogether, specifically on higher difficulties. On lower to mid difficulties, melee is a lot more fun as the damage reduction and extra armor help keep you safe. On Death Sentence, it's pretty much a slow game, literally waiting around corners for groups to form and then go ham all the way. If you think you can rush objectives and out in the open with a melee build, try it and you won't like it at all. In fact, it will suck. Utilize the weapons a bit and build up the Bloodthirst skill, and when you see a dozer, charge the melee attack and he will go down in a couple of hits, no problem. You will not have the highest kills on your team using a melee build on this difficulty, just saying. Map selections are of course tight and small confined areas.
That's what she said.
Being in the open and you're done. Bank heist, undercover, big bank are all good. You can find small tight areas on any map, but larger maps with those will just confine you to them and put you in areas where your teammates might move on from due to other objectives.
Shit, I see her. Shields down. Watch out.